My name is Jay Sidori, and I'm a member of the VATA.
And I'm Becky Bowers-Lanier, and I'm the advocacy consultant for the association.
And this is a brief video to prepare you for your visit, and we're going to talk about before, during, and after. So Becky, you've made your appointment, you're ready to see the legislator. You want to be sure that you're ready to see this person. What are some tips and tricks you can talk about before you get there, getting on your way, preparing for the meeting?
I always think about remembering about Murphy's Law. And
Okay.
so that is to say that you've got an appointment, say, for 1 o'clock, and it's supposed to be 20 minutes away. Give yourself at least a half an hour. You live in Northern Virginia, give yourself even more than that.
Gotcha.
Make sure you've Googled it or you've got your GPS on, you know
Okay.
exactly where you're going, so that you know you're going to get there on time.
Right.
Don't be late.
Right.
Now, if you're going to be late, second tip is
Okay.
get a phone number.
Okay.
Cell number for the legislator, like for example, if you're meeting at Aunt Sarah's pancake house, you want to make sure you have their cell number, or if you're meeting in their office, have the office number, so that if you are late, call on your way.
Okay.
I'm stuck in traffic.
So just like anything else, just make sure you're on time, make sure you have the directions, enough time for parking, the meter, and
Yeah.
everything else. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you get there, be Southern.
Be Southern.
Yeah, there usually is an aide or someone in the office. Do not ignore that person.
Okay.
Talk with them. Be very nice. I'm here to see
Sure.
the legislator.
Okay. And as far as the information you're collecting, so we're going to try to prepare ourselves, getting there. But once you're about to get there, what can you do to prepare yourself as far as information-wise?
Well, you do want to carry with you your leave behinds. You've already made some inroads in knowing who these people are, what they do, so that when you get there to talk with them, you are not a stranger, at least from your perspective.
So let's talk about during the visit. So we're actually going to do a role-playing video later, but during the visit, what are some tips and tricks that you want to avoid or things you want to do during the actual visit?
Yeah, well, remember your manners, number one.
Okay.
We're in the South, and it's really important to just sort of spend a little bit of time talking about something social. So if you have a link or whatever that
Okay.
you know about, lead with that.
Sure.
And again, trying to make a connection with them, who you are, so
Got
that they'll remember that later. He'll remember that, or she'll remember that
Okay.
later on.
Got it.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is, keep an eye on the time.
All right.
You've asked for 15 minutes or
Right.
so. You want to see when you get in there what time it is that you've started.
Okay.
And so you've kind of got, you don't want to get distracted.
Okay. And how do you avoid or navigate through the conversation or topics that you might want to avoid? How do you do that? That's pretty
Well,
tough.
first of all, make sure you know what you're going to speak about and talk with them briefly. Want to introduce myself, want to tell you about athletic trainers and athletic training, and then an initiative that we're going to be working on. And then you say, you don't say, and by the way, bad news, don't do this.
Right.
I really hated the vote you made on such and such. You want
Right,
to
don't
stay
do
away
that.
from political stuff.
Right.
Remember, you may not like this person's politics, but that person represents you, and
Gotcha.
so you want to make sure you're nice to that person.
Okay, gotcha. So as being a resource for athletic trainers and even expecting questions during or after the interview, how can you give some tips on how to answer those questions? Or maybe you don't know the answer to those questions. Like, what do you do?
All right, so when you're talking with a person, if you remember we talk about, this is all about interpersonal relationships. So you're talking to the person and you see something like this, or okay, so
yeah.
you know that you might have lost the person, and acknowledge that if you can,
Okay.
or stop right there and say, do you have any questions for me right now?
Right.
Now, they may ask you a question that you don't know the answer to.
Okay.
In that case, you say, I'll get back with you, and then follow through on that.
Gotcha. So you're wrapping everything up, you're tying up the loose ends, and now the visit is over. So how do we properly follow up with the person?
Right. Proper follow-up first is to write a thank you note. No email, write a thank you note.
Okay.
That impresses the heck out of people.
Okay.
So thank you for your time, enjoyed your visit, looking forward to seeing you again. Don't hesitate to contact me when you have any questions about athletic training or about athletic trainers.
Okay.
That's one thing that you want to do. The second thing is, if he has asked or she's asked a question that you don't know the answer to,
Right.
get back with them on it.
As soon as you can. Okay. And so kind of after wrapping everything up, talking about, the certain topics that go through, you follow up with all those things. can you follow up further after that, like go and see like town hall meetings later in the session?
Absolutely. Remember, this is all about interpersonal relationships, and you are getting to know them before you need them.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for things like an article that you talked about, you see something in a newspaper, or you
Right.
read a magazine article, or something comes across your desk, somebody has heat stroke, and you send them information on that.
Okay.
So that you are maintaining contact over time. You can email those to them. You can also fax and, do that kind of thing
Okay.
too. And then if they have meetings in their district, close to where you live or where you work, go
Try
to
to make
it.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to make
Okay.
it so that you can make that contact with them again. Hi, nice to see you again.
Right, okay. Well,
There you
good.
go.
I think those are some great tips for before, during, and after. So thanks again for coming over and helping us
Sure.
with this. All right.